Hello? Hello? Ah, excuse me. Yes, exactly you. Do you speak extraterrestrial? Sungguh amatia aye amasihiti. Ah, thank God, a pleiadian. Yes, I speak your language. Wait, where are you going? You, hello, yes, you. Do you speak extraterrestrial? Hello? Ah, and you, do you speak extraterrestrial? And you? Yes, I know that. Thank you. Wait. Oh, do you speak extraterrestrial? Oh, Matasat, greetings to you, Highlight. Welcome to my lightworker channel. I am very pleased to have you with us. My name is Bella Isis Mitchell, and I can now explain to you what has just happened. You won't believe this, but I am actually not of this world, and you have just heard actual channeled extraterrestrial languages or sounds. I will explain this to you in a moment, but before I do, I want to tell you a little story so that you know what happened earlier. I'm going to tell you a story which is not a fairy tale, nor science fiction, nor even derived from fantasy stories. No, I'm going to tell you a true story from reality, because people live in illusion, and I myself was allowed to wake up in 2021 and actually woke up in the golden age, so to speak. If you are wondering if I come from the future, I can deny that. I am from the present, just like you. We are on the same timeline and yet in different spheres of perception. I am already living in the new golden age, but not on another timeline, but directly amongst and with you. For the golden age is already here, and I will personally help you to find it first within yourself and then on the outside. I am not of this world and have my origins in the stars. As an alien in a human body, I do not live an ordinary human life, and that's what I'm talking about in my book series. Extraterrestrial languages are already a big topic for us humans, but communication will also have a special meaning in the future. It is important to know how to communicate, in what way, and sometimes, most importantly, how to behave during the conversation. Since I have daily contact with aliens, I have been able to recognize who has what peculiarities, what likes, what dislikes, and how they communicate. Communication is a big issue because it is very complex. Although there are so many almost infinite possibilities, I have to admit that communication with aliens is much easier than talking to a human. Why is that? Well, It's easy to explain because it's spoken on several levels. While you are interacting with the other person, you are transmitting vibrations, patterns, sounds, signals, frequencies, sometimes images, depending on the species, but also feelings. And that is sometimes the most important thing. The other person recognizes exactly what you mean in your expression. As humans, we immediately have disagreements or misunderstandings about the smallest things because we simply cannot understand exactly what the other person is trying to express, because we cannot fully experience it during the conversation. I will then play you the sequences I recorded with the aliens and give you explanations about them. But first, I would like to say a few things about communication. There are beings who only use their mouth or several mouths to eat. They do not speak with it because communication is done mentally and telepathically. This is also the case with extraterrestrial animals, as star people speak to them in a normal way. There are some that would prefer to be left alone and refuse to talk, but that is entirely at the discretion of the creature in question. But there are also very talk-active animals. I can remember, but I don't have a picture in my head now. The memory is there, the wheel is lifted, but I can only pull out my memories piece by piece. Only in the way that is allowed by the Council of Light or in accordance with my path in life. It was all written down and discussed in the soul contract before this incarnation, but I won't go into detail about the extraterrestrial animals, as they almost deserve their own individual post. When the time comes and the entities agree, they will automatically contact me. However, I have had contact with extraterrestrial high animal beings, and I talk about them in great detail in my book series. But now we will concentrate on the aliens themselves. It is important to always treat your counterpart with the utmost respect and to remain honest. Honesty is a broad spectrum. If you were clairvoyant, if you could sense exactly what I meant, you would have just spoken to me telepathically, almost in Pleiadian. Because I've spoken this sentence in Pleiadian, it happens to me automatically. I am aware of exactly what I'm sending out and at what vibratory level when I address something. So, if you had been in front of me and I had addressed you with the word honesty, you would have felt vibrations of purity, truthfulness, sincerity, compassion, and an understanding how to treat other species with respect. I was sending all this out with colors, structures, vibrations. Words are hidden within words. As a Pleiadian, you can feel, see, and recognize this. I don't mean recognizing with logic or reason, but looking with the heart. There are species that communicate using sound waves and their heart chakra or chakras, depending on which part of the universe they come from. And that is why it is very difficult for the Pleiadians to communicate with politicians, for example, because firstly, they cannot usually be addressed on the heart level, and secondly, they simply do not understand or do not want to understand. As an emissary of the Galactic Federation, I can use this post to inform people about intersphere communication, to prepare them when the time of revelation comes. But when enough individuals are involved with extraterrestrial communication and take it for granted, then healing automatically comes in the collective. And that's why I clearly have the support of all the star peoples, but also the blessing of the Galactic Federation. It's even agreed on a soul level. Now I will go through the individual sound sequences again and explain them to you accordingly. We begin with the first conversation. In this case, they are Pleiadian words from my home tribe. However, I would like to ask you to listen to the following post on my channel to get some information about this language. It's called Background Info, Your Starseed Origins Pleiadian Words in Extraterrestrial Language. I'm going to embed this in the credits so you can easily find it. I will also tell you in the video description how to find the background info on my channel, so you will have two different clues as how to find this particular post on my channel. Oh, I have to smile. The beings do not communicate with these sounds. Their communication is of a completely different nature. They exchange a lot about vibration levels, but also about their heart chakra. This is typical of the Proxima Centaurians. When I talk to my Proxima Centauri guide, I hear him in German and in a raspy voice. We speak German because that is my language. I'm from Austria in Europe. I love listening to him. When I was preparing the recordings and waiting to see who would join the intergalactic communication project, I got the impulse from my guide, and suddenly I was dancing with the microphone, making sounds and movements that weren't really mine. I had to laugh a lot, because unfortunately I'm not blessed with any musical or dancing skills on this planet, but I picked up everything that the being was sending through my system. When we were finished after a short time, I just thought to myself, "Ugh, what happened now?" And the Proxima Centaurian did not want to give you spoken words, but melodic vibrations and sounds. If you are clairvoyant, you will know what I'm talking about. He also programmed his short audio recording accordingly. It was really funny and amusing. The Proxima Centaurians are very vibrant, even in their colorful, beautiful nature that they have on their planet. Words are often unnecessary because there is no way to express what you are feeling. This actually answers our question as to why he chose a rhythmic tone sequence on a vibrational level. Please feel free to subscribe to my channel. There will be another post about Proxima Centauri. And this topic also comes up again and again and again in my book series. I'm really happy about it. Thanks to Proxima Centauri. Now, on to the next point. I have to smile. This is another channeled message, but it is of this world. It's not from outer space. While I was waiting to see who else would be participating in the project, I received these rhythmic tones, and that they were from water creatures on the earth. I have contact with mermen and mermaids from the seas, and I talk about them throughout the book series. With these impulses, the water creatures make it clear that water can be enriched with vibrations, and that these pulsate through the water in the form of waves. But they communicate telepathically, not with such sounds. They wanted you to be aware of their presence and to arouse your interest. Yes, Mermaids do exist, and when I had my first contact with them, I was totally happy. I always knew there had to be mermaids, because I always believed in them. At this point, I have to admit that I was talking to a male and very young individual and not to a woman. I also feel the energy of the dolphins embedded in these sounds. So, you can see that language or sounds are individual and can even be programmed. I thank the creatures from the depth of the sea for blessing us with these sounds to immerse us in other worlds. Anasha, the next recording is now. This was from my Pleiadian sister, who has just incarnated on Arcturus. The Arcturians have a very unusual way of speaking, which I cannot practice on the channel, as one would have to be clairvoyant and speak the Arcturian language. Receiving communication is certainly easier than speaking it. It is very unique and special. I am practicing the Arcturian language myself, and I am able to do it in small steps, but I really should practice more. You can read exactly how the Arcturians speak in great detail in my book series. And so, since it's impossible to embed the Arcturian language here, my sister decided to sing. Because songs also connect our worlds and many vibrations can be hidden in them, you can also communicate with music, sounds and tone sequences. My sister tells me that this singing should be a bit siren-like, but unfortunately I can't sing very well. People on Earth have also been attracted to a wide variety of creatures that sing or hum. It contains magical and enchanting vibrations. And so this sequence of sounds from my sister also has an tickling frequency, but of a kind nature. It is only meant to encourage you to find out more if you wish. What you do with this is entirely up to your free will, Anasha. We now come to the final recording. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to channel the reptilians. At this point, I would like to explain this to you briefly, so that there are no misunderstandings. If you don't know me yet, let me tell you that reptilians are my favorite extraterrestrial species. I have a guardian who is reptilian, and he is also my spirit guide, who has to look after me as agreed in the soul contract. But I also have another being by my side to protect me on this planet. If they didn't look after me, the other side would have eliminated me long ago. I also tell tons of stories about my reptilian teacher and mentor in my books. And being so close to reptilians, it wasn't surprising that I fell in love with one of them. I also talk about my angel on the channel if you are interested in what it's like to be with a reptilian. In one particular situation, actually an adventure that I tell in one of my books, Aurelius, my lover, had to protect me, and he spoke conjuring sounds that came from his throat. They were hissing sounds. hissing, but at the same time mystical, magical, and extremely attractive to me. I can't resist Aurelius. I love him immeasurably and was totally fascinated to hear him speak his language on this occasion. I tried to produce that throaty hiss at least once for this post, but it was simply impossible. Aurelius told me it had to come more from the throat, but actually this language is much more complex. When we were recording, he was trying to give me tips on posture, how to put my head in a certain position, and what to do with my tongue, while I was trying to make a sound out of just one. You can compare it with exercises for little children, when they only have to say A, B, or C once. We didn't even got to a word or a meaning of a word. When Aurelius speaks or hums, it's so magical and attractive to me. He completely captivates me. It's a pity I couldn't pronounce a word in reptilian. The human body with its vocal cords and structures is apparently not designed for that. As you can see, languages are almost infinitely diverse. If you are interested in what and how I have spoken or interacted with aliens, I would ask you to search for my cosmic book series on Amazon under my pen name Bella Isis Mitchell. As I had to learn to communicate myself, these experiences begin with volume number 2. However, I ask that you read the books in order as everything builds up energetically. The magic in these books will only unfold if they are read in order. Otherwise, you will end up like me. You want to understand, but you can't even get an A, B, or C. Otherwise, energetic updates cannot be fully embedded if something is left out. To conclude on the subject of communication, I must and should tell you about the species which communicate with their 2 tubes that come out of the head. They put them on each other's foreheads or temples and exchange information. Apparently, their act of love works that way too. Wow! I just received something telepathically very often and very quickly. The beings communicate through pictures. They do a sort of data transfer with their tubes that come out of their foreheads, which have something like cartilage inside and are covered with a thin, beautiful skin. They can move it like we move our arms. The skin appears flesh-colored with darker pigments, almost crimson or reddish tones. No, it is a brown-red. Very fascinating. Oh, wow. I see these tubes telepathically, and now I can see the face. The tubes come out of the forehead, but are usually laid back like thick strands or hair. These fleshy tubes taper or narrow towards the bottom, but are somewhat rounded at the bottom. The face looks grumpy, but they are not. This is a peaceful species. It only seems that the wrinkles in the face create a grumpy expression, but I can tell you that these beings exude calm, leisure harmony, and pure peace. They look different, they are different, and there are different conditions on their planet, including a lot of gases. That's what I hear. Their skin is tanned but still soft and smooth. It is so hard to describe. When this creature... Oh, she's a woman, by the way. I see her sharpened teeth. It is wonderful that this creature is presenting herself now, because communication between worlds is very dependent on feeling. If this creature were standing in front of you, as a human being, you would probably react with fear. Their face seems worn and hardened, but at the same time the skin is extremely delicate. The skin tubes would irritate you, and the color of the creature would probably complete the package for making people uncomfortable. They have only 4 fingers, which look rather bulbous or fleshy. They appear clumsy with their hands, but that's deceptive. It's just that we humans can't imagine living with such limbs. But they don't know any other way because they are as they are. The sharp teeth would irritate you too, and that's why it's so important to prepare people for different civilizations. Many contributions to special and extremely galactic species will follow. At the moment, I'm hearing that the beings want to establish a telepathic connection for the duration of the music for particularly courageous people. It's about losing fear, overcoming anxieties, and enabling healing. The beings are completely peaceful and in a heightened state of consciousness. They vibrate at the Christ frequency and are connected to the all-encompassing love of the source of all being. You are absolutely protected as this happens. Do you have a name, dear being? Oh wow, Natura. Oh wow, that is a very unusual and beautiful name. Thank you. Thank you, Natura, for your contact with Earth and the interaction between star peoples. The alien lady is now connected to me. I can feel her touching my temple with a tentacle or tube. She will also take my hands in hers and try the same with you. So, if you are courageous, I can now say goodbye to you at this moment. The music will continue for a short time so that you can connect with each other. When the music stops or the post is closed, Natura will return to her dimension and leave your home immediately. She is only called for the duration of the recording. My contributions are alive and contain bridges to other worlds. Please share with lots of lovely people and subscribe to my channel so that the latest contacts and events will reach you immediately if you are interested in experiencing and getting to know other species. I'm not channeling, at least most of the time. I am taking you into the golden age, because it already is. Anasha, with courage and love in my heart, yours Bella Isis.